Welcome to Elemental Fun, a cultural and historical look of the elements at the periodic table. My name is Grace.
My name is Cindy.
And this is our introductory podcast just to kind of tell you a little bit about who we are, why we think we're qualified to talk about this, and a little bit about how we came up with this crazy idea of talking about all the elements of the periodic table. So first, Cindy, tell us why you're technically the only one at this podcast that's qualified to talk about anything to do with chemistry. Go for it.
Well, I teach chemistry, so I guess that would count for something.
High school chemistry?
Yes, and college chemistry as well. Yeah. I technically have a degree in biology, but, I had to take so much chemistry, I almost could have gotten a second degree in chemistry, but I didn't want to. Okay. Yeah, but so I have enough to teach that. Yeah, it's good. I like it. It's fun.
Well, see, I have a bachelor's in theater and then a master's in education. So I teach little people and I scaffold things down for them every day. So I feel like I bring in the dumbing down element to this podcast. But I also really love science and I love talking about science and chemistry and I love how it can connect to our history. So, yeah, I'm not really qualified, but who cares?
Oh, you're qualified.
Oh, thank you. Yeah. But, it's a podcast and you don't have to be qualified.
No.
No.
So, we have a little bit of qualification, so it's fine.
We have one doctorate, and that's more than most podcasts. It's not mine, though. So, well, it might be in biology, but anyway, moving on. So let's talk a little bit about how we came up with this idea.
So we read this book.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, okay, you finished the book.
I finished the book.
I got about halfway through, and I'm the one with the doctorate in biology. So, yeah.
Let's backtrack. First, Cindy and I are running buddies, and we had just finished a half marathon, our second half marathon, and we stopped in a used bookstore to get a coffee. Well, I got a coffee, and
I had totally forgotten about this.
Yes, this is where I brought the idea up to you. And right. I said, Cindy, have you ever read the book Periodic Tales by Hugh Aldersey Williams? And Cindy said,
yeah, I tried. I really tried.
It's such a fantastic idea. And, the author really knows what he's talking about.
Very much.
He really knows chemistry.
And cultural.
Yes.
Yes, and puts the two together.
But it was so...
It was just, there was just so much. And there was a lot of
overwhelming
different things. And if you knew somewhat chemistry, but you didn't know some of the cultural stuff. And it was just, I felt like I needed to go and do a bunch of referencing to be able to figure out exactly what was going on.
7,000 footnotes in this. And
which is great.
Yeah.
Right.
Very thorough.
Very thorough.
But I thought, gosh, wouldn't it be great if we had a way to learn a little bit about each element and its history and connection to our culture without feeling like I have to now finish my thesis for this subject. And so I said, Cindy, wouldn't it be great to do a podcast?
I was like, yeah. Sounds like a great idea. Yeah. I'm with it.
So, we are semi-qualified. We are very passionate about it. And Cindy's great with research. I BS a lot of it, but I sound like I know what I'm talking about.
That's really all you need.
Yeah, and so we came up with this idea.
Yeah,
to do this podcast, and
from the start with that awesome book, but wanted to kind of take that down a little bit and make it a little bit more accessible.
Yes, thank you, Hugh. And I feel like a lot of times when we listen to a podcast or we read a book, if it has too much information in it and it's too factual and too many details.
Wah, 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 wah.
Yes, exactly. I sometimes I listen to a podcast, I go, oh my gosh, I learned so much. Cool. And someone says, well, what did you learn? And I'm like,
something really cool.
Words. And so I think what we're going to work on in this podcast is giving you some information about each element, not bombarding you with facts. And we're going to try to stay more on the historical and cultural side of it, and not on the mathematical and...
But that's so hard because I love math.
I know.
And chemistry is all math.
I know.
It's awesome.
But it's great to learn about these elements through a different lens. Ooh, lens. Ooh. Science. But I feel like sometimes we look at each of these elements and we don't think about how they're connected to our lives, because when I took chemistry, it was a lot of mathematical formulas, a lot of talk about, electrons and neutrons. And
all very
protons.
important.
Very important.
Because that's how they react. That's how they interact with the world. But we don't really need to worry about that.
No. And this will not be a podcast that goes into the depth of their math.
And their structure. Yeah, you'll stop me from going there.
I will.
Yeah.
I might have to get a bell if
Yeah.
it gets that bad.
Ding, ding, ding.
I'll just ring the bell every time she starts going there. The word isotopes is limited to one per episode.
Okay.
Cindy. Okay.
Right, but I like isotopes.
I know you do.
know. Okay.
But that's not what this is about.
This is true.
This is elemental fun.
Fun. I do like bringing fun. When I teach my biology classes, I like to bring in a lot of how all the chemicals that we're talking about and the processes that we're talking about all interact with stuff you do every day.
Yes.
So it makes it more interesting.
That was the one chemistry class I took in college was about chemistry in your everyday life. And we talked about shampoo and the chemical reactions in shampoo. And that's why I cleanse your hair. I don't remember any of it, but I
remember it being interesting.
Liking it. I also remember my professor was probably about 97 years old and a little dotty, but always pleasant.
I did. One of my students did say that she actually not loved chemistry, liked it, but that's a huge deal because most people going in go, oh my God, chemistry.
Yeah. It's overwhelming.
It is very overwhelming.
Yeah. So we're gonna take it a little bit at a time. So I think we'll talk a little bit now about how each episode's kind of set up. So
take it away, Grace.
Oh, thank you. So we're going to have episodes that come out that are approximately 30 minutes long. We don't want to just talk forever, which Cindy and I could talk.
It's true.
Forever. But
we run for 2 hours and never stop talking. Really cuts down on our time,
we could be
but
so
it's okay.
fast if we
but it wouldn't be as fun.
No. So it's going to be about a 30-minute episode, and we will discuss either 1 to 4 elements. Now, you're probably wondering, well, why the range? Well, there's going to be elements that have a huge history and a huge importance in our culture and in our society and our history. And then there will be some that were created in a lab.
For a millisecond.
And it's not worth talking about it for 30 minutes. It would be...
It'd be a lot of, yeah.
And then I found on one website...
They did
There was an assistant named Bob.
He did that.
And let's have a break. Then you'd hear us chewing on food, and it would just...
Nobody wants to hear that.
It's the worst sound ever. Don't do it.
Oh, damn it. I thought you wanted an example.
No.
Okay.
So, for example, our first episode is going to be about carbon, because it is...
important.
And everywhere.
Literally
everywhere.
And that's the actual literal...
Yes, we're...
Not literally, that's not...
Not the
figuratively, literal, right?
Yeah.
The actual literal.
It's everywhere, and so it plays a big part in our society. But then we're also going to match some up together. Like we'll put silver and gold together because those are elements that most people are aware of. We'll also
they kind of have the same cultural significance to some degree.
Yeah, I mean there are some differences, but there is a lot of importance in those elements. We'll also put them together by scientists that invented.
Oh, they did not invent enough. Well, actually, no, that's not. Well, it's kind of true because they were invented because they were created in a lab, but it was still from some kind of natural beginning. Yeah,
scientists that discovered and named different elements, and so we'll have different episodes kind of based on that, and we'll try to make this as entertaining as possible. Maybe. I'm entertained.
I am, but
I'm easily entertained.
We entertain each other.
Yeah.
Hopefully you're entertained as well.
Again, we run for 2 hours straight. Longer, actually. It's like 2.5 hours.
Yeah. We might get sidetracked sometimes too, but we'll try to veer it back on.
Maybe we'll need our listeners need a bell to ring at us when we
Ding, 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 ding.
too sidetracked. We'll have to go.
You've
live.
gone into Harry Potter and geekiness.
Yes.
Come back.
We will try and stay in the realm of reality,
Mostly.
and not in sci-fi or fantasy.
Mostly.
However, if it plays a historical or cultural importance in our society, then we will totally go into sci-fi, which we will. But yeah, I think that's pretty much our
serious sums it up.
introduction.
Yeah.
So thank
Oh,
you.
we're moms too,
Oh,
right?
yes.
Yeah.
That might play a role.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're both moms, and we met actually through a mom group.
True.
Realized that we were kindred spirits.
Yes.
In lots of ways.
Yes.
And so we might talk about our kids every once in a while.
Yeah, it kind of happens. They kind of overtake your life.
They do.
Yeah.
Where's mine?
Sleeping?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
I'm kidding. I actually know where my child is at this time. And they're
Mine's upstairs right now. She's speechless.
I digress.
Okay.
So, thank you so much for spending your time with us. And please let us know if you have any questions, comments, concerns, worries for the safety of humanity. But if not, hopefully you'll be listening to us again.
Right.
My name is Grace.
My name is Cindy.
And we will be around soon.
Bye. Live from Cindy's office.
Which is right next to our living room.
And just upstairs is the bedroom.
All right.
Oh my goodness.
I just forgot the name of the podcast.